What's happening, everyone? Welcome to the Righty Brew channel. I'm V, your host. Today's video, I'll be bleeding the brakes on my Ecotric Seagul. This is actually a requested video. Shout out Tony Holmes. First, let's make sure the front of the bike is elevated, around 45 degrees or so. For this job, we're gonna need a hex key set, a large flathead screwdriver, a needle nose pliers, and I'll be using a Bico brake bleed kit, which I got off Amazon. I'll put a link below. Let's start by removing the rear brake caliper. There are two screws holding the rear brake caliper in place. Let's get those two screws removed. Once we have the brake caliper removed, we can then remove the cotter pin. Once we remove the cotter pin, we can remove the brake pads. Once we have the brake pads removed, it's a good time to remove the bleeder port screw. We can now insert one of the adapters that came with the bleeder kit. I'm using one of the plastic ones. I can't stress enough, you should wear gloves. I made a mistake by not wearing gloves when doing this video, and I didn't catch it until afterwards. Okay, once we have the adapter inserted in the bleeder port screw, we could use the large screwdriver to push the pistons further apart. And once we have the pistons pushed the furthest apart, we can then insert the bleeder block into the brake calipers to keep the pistons from going together. We can now move to the front of the bike and loosen one or both screws that's holding the brake lever in place, and raise it so that it's level with the floor. Once we do that, we could remove the brake reservoir screw. And then insert the bleeder cup. The bleeder cup just needs to be hand tightened. Next, we can fill the syringe with mineral oil. We want to do that. We want to pull the mineral oil into the syringe very slowly to avoid getting air in the syringe or the silicone tubing. You want to make sure the silicone hose is filled to the tip. Then you want to install the silicone hole onto the adapter that's inserted into the bleeder port. Now we can fill the reservoir cup with mineral oil and remove the stopper. Now we can slowly push mineral oil throughout the system. Be careful not to get air bubbles in the system any further. If you look at the reservoir cup closely, you can see tiny bubbles coming up. Once those disappear, you know you're good to go. Once you have no more air bubbles, you could then put the stopper back into the reservoir cup and remove it. Once reservoir cup is removed, reinsert reservoir screw. You want to get that tight and snug. You could put the unused mineral oil back into the bottle, or you could dispose of it however you dispose of used oils. Next, we want to remove the adapter with the syringe from the bleeder port and reinsert the bleeder screw and tighten it to a snug. Mic sounds nice. Put the adapter away along with the bleeder kit for future use. Now we want to reinsert the brake pads and the cotter pin and reinstall the brake caliper and adjust as needed. I'll do all my adjustments later. Once brake caliper is reinstalled, we could then check for pressure at the brake leather. Got pressure. Thanks for watching. Catch you on the next one.